This is really good information because, as you said previously, so many people come, they're excited. I have so many people, and a lot of y'all out there watching who've been following me for a while. Thank you for that. But people get excited. I'm going to come to Africa.
Yes.
And they meet some boy who tell them that they can help them start a business.
Yep.
And if you say, okay, you do everything for me.
Yeah.
You come back with some paperwork that looks legitimate.
Exactly.
And then something happens. And then you try to go to court and they say, well, Charlie, this one was written in crayon, so I don't know how you got this. I mean, but it happens. I'm laughing, but it literally happens all the time.
Yeah.
So then here's a question that a lot of people would ask, right? If I'm coming in as a non-citizen and I have to pay these $250,000 that I probably don't have, but then I really do want to make an impact and make a difference here in Ghana, do I really need an attorney?
Ideally, yes. For a couple of reasons. So just to go back to what you said, like, somebody will give you the wrong advice. And before we go forward, there are other entities that you can register. You can register a charity. And over here in Ghana, that's called a company limited by guarantee. There are limited and unlimited partnerships. But I would say, the company is the most popular for a privately owned business, right? A partnership, an unlimited partnership, like lawyers, for example, can do an unincorporated partnership. So that also, there are other options, and a charity too, it's its own thing. But do you need a lawyer? No, you don't need a lawyer. You can, go and do it for yourself. You can do it yourself, but then you're taking a big risk because just as you say, there are all kinds of people who will say to you, oh, I can do this for you. Oh yeah, all you need to do is register. I mean, I've had people thinking that they had registered a company, and only when, they showed us the documentation do you realize that actually it was a sole proprietorship that was registered. All they have is a business name. So they've registered a company. They're talking about, I want to bring a partner into the business. And these are even Ghanaians, right? I want to get a partner. So I want to, sell some shares. I want to transfer some shares. And then we see it. And it's like, well, you can't transfer shares. There are no shares in this entity. It's a sole proprietorship, for example. Or, like you said, they've registered. And even now, some of the requirements at our, company's registry have become a bit more difficult. Like you need a Ghana card. You can also have a non-citizenship card. So it's not that as a non-Ghanaian you cannot register. But all those things, they've kind of upped the due diligence, the KYC, requirements. So if you are bypassing some of those requirements, somebody's telling you they can do this and do that. And the problem is that you get people who, over here sometimes we call them Goro boys, which is, some of these people who hang outside some of these like regulatory entities, you can pay me this. And Tim, the thing is that sometimes you're not paying them any less than you'd be paying a lawyer.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily paying them any less than you'd be paying a company like Judiciary.
If you're overneath, then it always goes up.
Yes. So, and now also, I mean, we don't want to lose business here, but there's a lot of information online.
Yeah, but what I've realized is, even from my personal experience, having started a business in the U.S. and even an NGO, I have learned the hard way why you need an attorney.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reality is contracts are not written by the average person, they're written by attorneys.
Yeah.
So if you are an average person like myself trying to read a contract, you're not going to understand what it says. And there have been, I ain't going to share all my business, but one particular situation comes to mind that really made it hit home where, as a part of my NGO, we thought we were doing some things in the right way, only to realize we weren't.
Yeah.
And so on top of having to pay like a lot of money that we lost, we had to pay a lot of money in attorney fees, a lot of money in accounting fees to rectify the situation. And it really hit home to me. This is why you're supposed to put people in place that are professionals ahead of time, because you're not saving money by trying to cut corners.
No.
You're actually going to lose money in the long run. And then on top of that, for a person like myself who has an NGO, it prevents us from actually doing the mission that we want to do because we're held up in these other areas. So I'm in agreement that I know you need an attorney.
Yeah.